Good morning. We are going to study about magnetic circuit. Before that, I'm again telling that it is going to be concentrating on rotating electrical machines, specifically electromechanical energy converting machines. Electromechanical energy converting machines are either DC or AC machines. Okay. DC or AC machines are there. Whenever we convert mechanical energy into electrical energy, we call it as electrical generator. When we convert mechanical energy into electrical energy, then it is generator. Okay. And when we convert electrical energy into mechanical energy, then we call it as motor. Electric motor. We will be concentrating on both these machines. Apart from this, when we actually generate electricity, it is only done at 11 to 15 kV. I have already told about the generating voltage level, that is only up to 11 to 15 kV, nothing more than that. But the transmission voltages are higher than this. It will be exactly like 465 kV to 800 kilovolt level. Anyway, so when we want to step up voltage from 11 kV level to transmission level voltages such as 440, 221 or anyway, we require step up transformer. Okay, so an important part of this transmission is transformer. Okay, transformer. We require step up transformer to increase the voltage level to transmission level voltage. Similarly, when we want to step down transmission level to distribution level such as 33 kV, 66 kV or domestic purpose for 15 volt or 230 volt level, we need to step down the voltage. Then again require a step down action in a transformer. So we would be talking about transformers as well as electromechanical conversion machines, because they are also a vital part of electromechanical device. Okay. So in this class we will going over magnetic circuits first, because magnetic circuits form major portion of the electromechanical energy conversion equipments. And after discussing about magnetic circuits, we will be going over transformer. Then we will be looking at DC as well as AC machines. So when you look at what you have learned in this course, basically you would be able to look at the functioning. You will be understood about the functioning of these type of machines. You would be able to look at different operating characteristics of both AC and DC machines, and based on these characteristics, you would be able to make a suitable choice for any application that you can think of. That means if any applications you need about some functions, so you can choose which one is suitable for your proper functioning. Okay. And the entire objective is to analyze the electrical machines, understand them, and ultimately look at the applications and make an informed choice for any particular application. Okay. So we are going to magnetic circuits. So in any electromechanical conversion machines, mainly there are two major parts. Mainly one is stator and another one is rotor. Okay, stator and rotor. That means constructionally in an electromechanical conversion machines or equipments, there will be two major parts. One is stator and rotor. One of these will carry field windings or magnetic field. One of these portion carry field, magnetic field, and one of this portion carry a bunch of conductors. Okay. So either stator or rotor will carry magnetic field and a conductor. Normally, the rotor is known as armature. Electrical terms, you just know these terms. We will be using these terms in these course everywhere in electromechanical conversion machines. Normally, the rotors of the electromechanical conversion equipments, either it is generator or motor, we call the rotor as armature. So, mainly there are two parts, stator and rotor, one of which will carry magnetic field and another one will carry a bunch of conductors, and that is called armature. And you know that and you have already studied Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, how the EMF is induced when there is a rate of change of magnetic flux, that is N into, you have already heard about this law, N into d phi by dt is equal to EMF. That means according to this law, according to Faraday's law, the EMF induced will be directly proportional to rate of change of flux and the number of turns. Okay, I have already studied. So, in electromechanical conversion devices, either it may contain stationary magnetic field and rotating armature, or rotating magnetic field and stationary armature. Both is possible. Either it will have stationary magnetic field on the stator and rotating armature, conductors on rotating armature, or rotating field and the conductors are stationary. Both of the action is possible. And also there is another device which has stationary conductors. How this EMF will be produced? Either conductor rotates and which cuts the magnetic flux and it will produce rate of change of flux and it produces a proportional EMF. Whenever there is a conductor which cuts the magnetic flux, then it induces an EMF on that conductor. Okay. That means, and the EMF, the magnitude of that EMF is directly proportional to rate of change of flux. This another way of producing EMF is when the stationary conductors are there and we are giving an alternating current to the conductors, then it also produces a varying magnetic field. So the varying alternating magnetic field will produce an EMF on that conductor. This is known as transformer action. Okay. Then we are going to study about magnetic field. A closed path followed by magnetic field lines is known as magnetic circuit. A closed path which is followed by magnetic field lines is called magnetic circuit. Magnetic circuit means a closed path which is followed by magnetic field lines is known as a magnetic circuit. Okay. Then just consider a machine. Either the machine, electromechanical conversion machine may have stator at outside and rotor at inside. Rotor and stator. Stator and rotor. Rotor at the outside and stator inside is also possible in some automotive vehicles, but usually you can see at laboratories or in industries, you can see stator at the outside of the electromechanical machines, and rotor is inside. This is just a cross-sectional view. Okay, and we also studied that either conductors will be placed on the rotor and magnetic field will be placed on the stator. Okay, so there will be some air gap between these two part of a machine. അതായത് ഒരു റോട്ടറിന്റെയും സ്റ്റേറ്ററിന്റെയും ഇടയ്ക്ക് physically contact ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കില്ല, ഒരു എയർ ഗ്യാപ്പ് ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. So there will be some air gap in between rotor and stator of an electromechanical device. So the magnetic flux has to pass through this air gap also. So when the magnetic flux lines passing through both the iron and air, then that magnetic circuit is called composite circuit. Composite circuit. Okay, magnetic circuit which contain the magnetic flux lines pass through both iron and air is called composite circuit. Okay, and when we correlate it with the electrical circuit, EMF or voltage which causes current flow in electrical circuit. EMF, electromotive force or voltage, which produce current flow in a circuit. In a closed circuit, it will produce current flow. And similarly, in magnetic circuit, MMF is the magnetomotive force which the flux will be established due to this MMF. Okay. Then, when we just consider, do you have heard about thumb rule? Thumb rule means when we consider an infinite long conductor which carries a current I on it, and when we consider our thumb, right hand thumb in upward direction, and just grip that conductor with your fingers and make the direction of thumb in the direction of current, upward direction il thumb pidikka, baaki fingers kondu nammal aa conductor ne grip cheyidu poleയുള്ള ഒരു position assume ചെയ്യാം. Just ഒരു conductor, just assume a conductor which carrying current in this direction, upward direction. Just grip that conductor with your hand and thumb should be in the direction of the current, then all other finger will give the direction of magnetic field. So the direction of magnetic field will be like this. That is thumb rule. Okay, and another one, that is, now just consider a magnetic circuit. Let's consider a ferromagnetic core which is made up of a ferromagnetic material, and we are wounding a conductor of 5 turns. Okay, now consider the current, how many times the magnetic field lines will encountering with that is actually how many times the magnetic field lines encountering with that current. Just assume this one is a current carrying conductor and carrying conductor. That current carrying conductor is placed in this ferromagnetic material and which produces a magnetic flux lines, and that just assume this is the direction of magnetic flux lines according to thumb rule. You can find out the direction of magnetic field, and this magnetic field, we are assuming all the magnetic field lines concentrated on this ferromagnetic material, because permeability, which allows the passage of that magnetic flux lines very easily in the ferromagnetic material. The property of ferromagnetic material is permeability is very high. So we are assuming total or whole magnetic flux lines should be follow this path inside this ferromagnetic material. So we know that it's just assume there is 5 number of turns of this winding which carries current, and Magnetomotive force MMF is that how many times the magnetic field lines will encountering that is known as MMF. How many times the magnetic field lines encountering with the current is known as MMF, or the product of how many times the magnetic field encountering the current with the magnitude of product, that is number of turns into magnitude of current is known as magnitude of current is known as MMF. So also we can written it as MMF is equal to number of turns is taken as N and the magnitude of current as I. MMF is equal to Ni. Magnetomotive force is how many times the magnetic field lines is encountering with that current flowing through the conductor. We are just assuming there are 5 number of turns. So it interact with the magnetic field lines, or the magnetic field lines will interact with the current 5 times. That means it is equivalent to the number of turns into that magnet, into that current. So number of turns into magnitude of current will give magnetomotive force. So we can write it as MMF is equal to N into I. And we can correlate this equation with the Ampere's law. Magnetic path length. Just assume the magnetic path length. Just assume if the radius of this magnetic circuit is R, then magnetic path length. Magnetic path length. How much is the length of this magnetic path? If the radius is R, then the total length of this magnetic circuit will be 2 pi R into magnetic field intensity H will give the total MMF, that is, which is equal to N into I. Magnetic field path length is 2 pi R, then 2 pi R H, that length of magnetic circuit into magnetic field intensity will be equal to MMF. 2 pi R into H is equal to Ni. Ampere's circuit law defines that the closed integral of H dot dl, the total length will be equal to sigma I. That means magnetic field intensity in a closed path will be equal to total arithmetic sum of current, magnitude of current. And just assume a conductor. This one is a conductor which is carrying a current 1 ampere. Okay, 1 ampere current is carrying. Just assume a conductor having infinite length, conductor of infinite length which is carrying 1 ampere current, and magnetic field intensity experienced by anything that is placed at a distance of 1 meter. Just assume a 1 meter distance from this point. And the magnetic field intensity, this point is C. Yes, a point C. Assume a point C here from the conductor, which is at a distance of 1 meter away from an infinitely long conductor which carrying 1 ampere current. Okay. Then we already know that 2 pi R into H is equal to Ni. From this equation, you can write it as I by 2 pi R is equal to what? H. 2 pi I by 2 pi R. Because here we are considering only one conductor. So N become 1 and R, you already know that the distance is 1 meter. So 1 by 2 pi is equal to H. 1 by 2 pi is equal to H. Okay. And the equation to the H is equal to 1 by 2 pi, and the unit is ampere per meter. Ampere per meter. Okay. How you get that? Because from this equation 2 pi r h is equal to Ni, you know that that is the equation for MMF, and from this you can write I by 2 pi r is equal to h, in which you are considering a infinite length conductor of having only one conductor and which is carrying. The return path is far away from this point, so we are not considering that the return path of current and only considering a single conductor. So number of conductors 1 and 1 by 2 pi r. R is the r is also equal to 1 and also n is equal to 1. R is the distance, that is also 1. So h is equal to 1 by 2 pi ampere per turn. So next, one conductor C is placed at 1 meter which is carrying 1 ampere current. Okay, so we are assuming, we are considering a conductor carrying 1 ampere current, and we have considered a point C at 1 meter distance from here, and now we are considering one conductor is placed. C is placed at 1 meter away from this conductor, and which also carries a current of 1 ampere. What will be the force experienced by a conductor C carrying 1 ampere of current per unit length? What will be the force experienced per unit length? Which is force F is equal to, you have already studied in lower classes, F is equal to BIL. Okay, B is the flux density, I is the current flowing through it, and L is the length. Okay, so you know that here we assume current is 1 ampere and length of conductor also per meter is 1 meter. Okay, so we consider B into 1 into 1. So F is equal to B. Okay, in SI units we define the ampere as when we place a conductor at a vacuum on which is carrying 1 ampere will experience a force of 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton. Okay, so here we assume it is a 1 ampere current. So for 1 ampere current, which when we place it at a vacuum or free space, what will be the force? It will be equivalent to 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton. So we are assuming the SI unit. So then we are going to assume magnetic flux density B is equal to mu into H. It's actually an assumption equation, assumed equation. Directly we are assuming that, and this H means it is a cause. H is the reason for producing the magnetic field density or magnetic flux density. Due to this magnetic field intensity, there will be a magnetic flux density. So this one is a cause and B is the effect of this cause. Okay. So magnetic flux density B is directly proportional to H, and mu is the permeability. Permeability means it's a property of a material that which allows the magnetic lines of force. So we have already told B is equal to 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton equal to mu into, and H we already explained it as 1 by 2 pi. So we can write mu is equal to 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. Now we are going to, that is the permeability of free space. Actually we written permeability of free space as mu 0, and permeability of a material is written as mu, and mu r is the relative permeability, which is ratio of permeability of material to permeability of free space. Okay, and we have written an equation for our permeability as 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. Now we have to consider the unit of this equation. Unit of permeability. Unit of permeability can be calculated in Henry per meter. How it is get is, I just explain how it is produced. Mu, we have already told it is B by H. It's just concepts, you should know what is these terms only. Okay. And B is the flux density here. Flux density. And the unit is Weber per meter square. Okay. Weber per meter square. Then H is equal to Ni. H is equal to Ni in ampere turn. Actually, turn is a dimensionless quantity. Ampere turn. So, V by mu H is equal to Weber per meter square is also Tesla. Tesla by ampere per meter. So, we written this as ampere per meter. So, we can written it as Weber per meter square divided by ampere per meter. So, we written by simplifying this Weber per ampere meter. Okay. And we have already studied the inductance. Sorry. Inductance L into di by dt, which is similar to N into d phi by dt. Inductance is a relating quantity. When a current flowing through a conductor, there will be a property inductance persist on it. So L into the ratio of current flowing through it, inductance into ratio of rate of change of current will be proportional to rate of change of flux. So from this you can find out mu is equal to from this equation L is equal to N into d phi by di. Okay, Weber per ampere. So the unit of this one is Weber per ampere. So we already know that unit of inductance is Henry. So Henry per meter is the unit of permeability. Henry per meter. I've just explained how it comes only. We don't want to study all these equations. You have to know the unit of permeability is Henry per meter. Okay. How it comes, this I explained here. You know that the equation B is permeability is equal to B by H. B is the flux density and H is the magnetic field intensity. Also we know that H is equal to N into I. So ampere, N into I means number of turns into current. So ampere turns is the what our unit, and Weber per meter square is the unit of flux density. So Weber per meter square, and ampere turn is taken as ampere per meter. So Weber by ampere meter is the equation. So just to relate this Weber by ampere per meter into a smaller unit, we are relating this with the inductance Henry. To convert it into a simple form, we are assuming we are relating to inductance, because in any current carrying conductor there will be a property of inductance. So you are relating that to Henry. That unit in Henry per meter. Okay. Now we are going to study about the magnetic circuit in relation with the electric circuit. So we have already told some terms: magnetomotive force and electromotive force, flux and permeance, something like that. So we are going to study some terms on magnetic circuit, and it is related to electrical circuits also. First term is, what is magnetic circuit? You should remember what is magnetic circuit. What is actually magnetic circuit? The complete path of a magnetic line of force from north to south externally and south to north internally is called magnetic circuit. Just assume a magnet having north and south. Okay. We know that the magnetic lines of force from north to south at outside the magnet, north to south, will be the direction of magnetic lines of force and the outside of this magnet, and internally it will be in south to north. You know that. Okay. So the complete path of magnetic lines of force from north to south externally and south to north internally is called magnetic circuit. Okay. And some terms you should know in this when we study transformers, we are not only in transformers alone, in electromechanical conversion devices we use these terms. So I'm just introducing some electrical terms. Residual magnetism. Residual magnetism. Okay. What is residual magnetism? When a current passing through a coil wound on a soft iron rod. You're just assuming a soft iron rod and one coil is wound on this. Okay. And when a current is passed through this coil wound on a soft iron rod, the rod becomes magnetized. Okay. There will be some magnetic lines of force on this rod magnetized. And when current is switched off, when we are giving current, the rod becomes magnetized. When the current is switched off, the iron rod loses its magnetism and magnetism. But practically there is still some magnetism left in the rod when the current is reduced to zero. Okay, when we switch off this current to zero, that magnetic property will be lost from that iron rod. But some still some magnetism left in that rod when the current is reduced to zero. The magnetism left in a magnetic substance after the magnetizing force has been removed is known as residual magnetism. അതായത് നമ്മൾ ഒരു റോഡിന് ഒരു കോയിൽ വൗണ്ട് ചെയ്തു. This coil will carry a current I. When ഒരു കോയിലിലൂടെ കറണ്ട് പാസ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്കറിയാം it will produce a magnetic field. So that magnetic field will magnetize this iron rod. Okay. Then when we suddenly switch off that current to zero, then that magnetic property of that iron rod will lost. But still there is some magnetic property will retain on that iron rod. അതായത് നമ്മൾ കറണ്ട് സീറോ ആക്കി കഴിഞ്ഞതിന് ശേഷവും ഒരു ചെറിയൊരു മാഗ്നറ്റിക് പ്രോപ്പർട്ടി അയൺ റോഡിൽ റീറ്റെയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. അതിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ റെസിഡുവൽ മാഗ്നറ്റിസം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ. നെക്സ്റ്റ് വി ഹാവ് സ്റ്റഡീഡ് മാഗ്നെറ്റോമോട്ടീവ് ഫോഴ്സ്. Magnetomotive force. Okay, that is MMF. We denote it as MMF. Okay, the force which drives the magnetic flux through a magnetic circuit is called magnetomotive force. A force which drives the magnetic flux through a magnetic circuit is called magnetomotive force. It corresponds to EMF in an electric circuit, and the unit is ampere turns. Ampere turns. Okay, ampere turns. So in electrical circuit it is related to EMF. The unit of MMF is ampere turns, and also MMF is equal to N into I. Okay, ampere turns. I is the value of current in amperes and is the number of turns in the coil. Okay. Next term is reluctance. Reluctance. What is reluctance? Reluctance is the property of a magnetic material which opposes the passage of magnetic flux in it. ഒരു മാഗ്നറ്റിക് മെറ്റീരിയലിന്റെ ഒരു പ്രോപ്പർട്ടിയാണ് റിലക്റ്റൻസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ആ മെറ്റീരിയൽ മാഗ്നറ്റിക് ഫ്ലക്സ് ലൈൻസിനെ ഒപ്പോസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന പ്രോപ്പർട്ടിനെയാണ് റിലക്റ്റൻസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ദ പ്രോപ്പർട്ടി ഓഫ് എ മാഗ്നറ്റിക് മെറ്റീരിയൽ വിച്ച് opposes the passage of magnetic flux in it. It is similar, or it is corresponds to resistance in an electric circuit represented as R, and reluctance is represented as S. It is similar to resistance in electrical circuit, and the unit is ampere turn per Weber. Ampere turn per Weber, and the reluctance S is equal to L by mu A. L by mu A. Okay. And okay, then next term, and the permeability. We have already discussed about permeability. Sorry. Permeability. Okay. Permeability is the property of a magnetic material which allows the passage of magnetic flux through it, which is equal to the ratio of flux density to magnetizing force, that is mu is equal to B by H. Okay. And now we are going to compare between magnetic circuit and magnetic circuit and electrical circuit. Okay. Now we are going to compare magnetic circuit and electrical circuit. Let's consider magnetic circuit. And here electric circuit. Okay, electric circuit. First term we have studied in magnetic circuit as magnetic flux lines, flux, which is equal to MMF, magnetomotive force, divided by reluctance. This is the ratio of MMF by reluctance, which is similar to the term current in electrical circuit. Current. What is the equation for current, which is equal to EMF divided by resistance. EMF divided by resistance. Okay. And MMF means magnetomotive force, and the unit is ampere turns, and the corresponding term is EMF, and the unit is volt. Okay. And the flux is usually denoted as phi. Flux is usually denoted as phi, and the unit is denoted as Weber, WB Weber, and it is similar to current in it. Current in a electrical circuit, current, and the unit is ampere. And another term we studied in magnetic circuit is flux density. Flux density, which is denoted by B, and the unit is Weber per meter square. And the similar property in electrical circuit is current density. Current density. Current density, which is denoted by ampere per meter square. Ampere per meter square. And another term we studied is reluctance. Reluctance. Sorry. reluctance. What is reluctance? It is opposing property of a magnetic circuit, and it is denoted by S, which is equal to L by mu A. And it is similar to a property in electrical circuit, resistance. Which is R is equal to rho L by A. Okay. And another term we studied is permeability or permeance. Permeance, which is permeance is inversely proportional to reluctance, 1 by reluctance. Okay. Similar to permeability, where mu is the permeability, and the similar property in electrical circuit is conductance. And another term we have studied in magnetic circuit is magnetic field intensity, but there is no related property in electrical circuit. The magnetic field intensity, current does not have an intensity property, so there is no another related term. So we have studied flux. Okay, we have studied this flux as the MMF is the ratio of MMF by reluctance, and the similar term used in our electrical circuit is current. Okay. And MMF means magnetomotive force. Unit of MMF is ampere turns, and the similar term is electromotive force in electrical circuit, and the unit is volt. And flux is denoted by phi, and the unit is Weber, and current is the similar property in electrical circuit. And the flux density, which is denoted by B, and the unit is Weber per meter square, and the similar property is current density. And the reluctance is the opposing property of a magnetic material, and similar property of electrical circuit is resistance. And another term is permeance, which is inversely proportional to the reluctance, and the similar property is conductance. Okay, so these are the comparison between magnetic circuit and electric circuit. Okay, and there are two types of magnetic circuit: series magnetic circuit and parallel magnetic circuit. Okay. Series magnetic circuit. We are going to study series magnetic circuit. Okay. Just assume a magnetic circuit. One part having one permeability and area of cross section and length, and another one. Okay. So just assume a magnetic circuit which consists of three different magnetic materials of different permeabilities. Okay, so first one have a permeability of first material, you just take it as A, second one B, and third one C, and there is an air gap between. Here is an air gap. Consider this as air gap. Okay. So it consists of three different materials having different magnetic permeability, and you know that permeability of air is always equal to 1, nearest 1. Each path will have its own reluctance. So for a magnetic circuit, each path will have its own reluctance. So total reluctance will be the sum of individual reluctance as they are joined in series. നമ്മൾ ഓരോ പാത്തിനും ഡിഫറെന്റ് റിലക്റ്റൻസ് ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. ആ റിലക്റ്റൻസ്, അതായത് ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ഈ 3 സർക്യൂട്ടിനെ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഈ 3 എണ്ണം ജോയിൻ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അതിന്റെ ടോട്ടൽ റിലക്റ്റൻസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ബി സം, അരിത്മെറ്റിക് സം ഓഫ് reluctance of each magnetic path. So we can write in a magnetic circuit and calculation total reluctance is equal to sigma We know that equation for reluctance is L by mu A. Mu means mu 0, mu r A. For each, permeability of material will be different. So mu 0 mu r A is the total equation reluctance, L by mu 0 mu r A. So for first material length is taken as L1 and second one L2 and L3, and the area length of air gap is taken as LA, air gap. So the total flux is equal to, total flux phi is equal to mmf by total reluctance. Okay, total reluctance. And we know that the total reluctance is sum of each material, reluctance of each material, that is L1 by mu 0 mu r A 1. First area is taken as A1 and the second one is A2, A3 is the area, and here it is air gap area AG, taken as it as AG. So plus L2 by, similarly, mu 0 mu r A2 plus, what will be the next reluctance, L3 by mu 0 mu r A3 plus L4. L4 means LA, air gap length divided by mu 0 mu r and air gap area AG, air gap area. So total sum will be the total reluctance in a series magnetic circuit. നമ്മൾ electrical circuits പഠിച്ചിട്ടില്ല, resistance series ആയിട്ട് connect ചെയ്ത total resistance. If you are connecting a resistor R1 and R2 in series, the total resistance will be R1 plus R2. Similarly, in magnetic circuit, total reluctance will be the arithmetic sum of reluctance of each magnetic circuit. Okay. And to find out the length of to find out the ampere turns, magnetizing force, you know that magnetizing force H, magnetic circuit calculation, in which to find out the ampere turns, you should know H is equal to Ni by L, Ni by L. Okay. So just consider a magnet, ferromagnetic material. There is an air gap in between it, and we are wounding a coil of turns N, and a current is flowing through this circuit, and a ferromagnetic material, and current flowing through this material, it will produce a magnetic flux on this ferromagnetic material. Okay. So, sorry. Oh, gone. One second. It's gone. Okay. I'm just again drawing. Okay. Here, wounding a coil, and there will be an air gap between the circuit. A current I is flowing through this coil, having number of turns N, and the ampere turns Ni is the magnetomotive force, MMF. You know the MMF, which is going to produce the whole magnetic circuit lines. This magnetomotive force is the cause which produces the whole magnetic line. Okay. So length of magnetic field lines is equal to length of core material L. You know that the magnetic lines of force is length of this magnetic core itself. So length of magnetic field lines is equal to length of core material. So we can write it as magnetic field intensity H is equal to Ni by L. area of cross section. You can consider an area of cross section of this air gap here. Area of air gap here. That is A. So the average flux density created in the core. So average flux density is taken as B, and overall flux is V into this area of cross section A. So we have to consider this area of total flux density should be considered in accordance with this air gap also, not only the ferromagnetic material. So B into A. So B by H is equal to mu. Just multiply this with B A by H into L. So we can write it as mu A by L. That is mu A by L is flux by mmf. That is 1 by reluctance. Okay. So reluctance is L by mu A. In electric circuit, we know that a similar equation, current by EMF is 1 by resistance. 1 by R resistance. So reluctance is L by mu L by mu A. Okay. Magnetizing force is H is equal to, we can written it as H is equal to Ni by L. Okay, H is equal to Ni by L. And we have to consider parallel magnetic circuit also. Parallel magnetic circuit. Okay. Parallel magnetic circuit. Just consider a parallel magnetic circuit having these two cores. First core circuit is having a length L1 and this length is L2. A parallel magnetic circuit consists of two parallel magnetic paths. Just consider A, B, C and D. These are the two paths. ACB, this ACB is one path and ADB is the another path acted upon by a same MMF. Both the paths are acted upon by same MMF. So a parallel magnetic circuit consisting of two parallel magnetic paths ACB and ADB acted upon by the same MMF. Each magnetic path has an average length of 2 into L1 plus L2. L1 plus L2 is the total average length. The flux produced by the coil wound on the central core is divided equally at point A between two outer paths. The reluctance offered by two paths is, so the reluctance offered by two paths is half the reluctance of each path. The reluctance offered by these two parallel paths is equal to half the reluctance of each path. It is equivalent to the resistance in a parallel circuit. In electrical circuit, what is the resistance of two parallel resistors? When we connect two parallel resistors, what will be the total resistors if that have two resistors are having same value? This magnetic core is same, so we are considering in electrical circuit also same resistance of two resistors connected in parallel. So R into R by R plus R is the total resistance. That means R square by 2R, that which is equal to R by 2, half the resistance. So total resistance is R by 2, half the resistance. Similarly, the reluctance offered by two paths is equal to half the reluctance of each path. So series circuit and parallel circuit. Okay. So now stopping here, just study the just read that Second chapter also I have already given the PDF note. You just read with this basic, this PDF also. Okay. Thank you.